We've got main event, Du Plessis, Sean Strickland, the rematch. What are we expecting from that? I mean, more of the same, or are we going to see something wildly different in this one? Alex Pereira in Strickland's corner as well. You never know.
Alex Pereira's in Strickland's corner.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he is. Eric Nicksack was on. I was watching a podcast with Eric Nicksack. I think it was yesterday. It come out, and he was saying Alex Pereira was going to be in the corner.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Yeah, he was saying he brings loads to the fight week for him, just kind of like the energy and the vibes. But I suppose it would make you feel safe having a big 6'5" scary Brazilian man, light heavyweight champion of the world, following you around. You would feel like you're bloody fucking king of the world, wouldn't you? Fucking hell.
Of course, mate. He'd be keeping all the bad spirits away, wouldn't he?
Chama.
Yeah, but I think unless one of it, and I can't see any of them doing anything out of the ordinary or thinking outside the box. So, unfortunately, I think it's going to be the same as the first fight, and then you're going to have Strickland fanboys saying, "Oh no, but I won this round. He won this round and this round and this round." It's like he didn't.
Yeah.
It was the first one was clear. There was nothing much. It was title fights shouldn't be that poor where we've got to have conversations like this. We should be saying, "Wow, blah 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 blah." Especially those that are paying all that money to be in attendance, and all them in America that pay what I think is extortionate for the pay-per-view price. Yeah. I don't know where you. I think you two are pretty on the same level as me with it.
I'm quite looking forward to it, to be honest.
Really, it's probably the title fight that I'm not looking forward to. I was looking forward to Merab and Nurmagomedov more the other week.
No, right. I'll tell you my context behind this. So about January last year, when the first fight took place, I remember I was really excited for it. I was on a night out with my girlfriend and a few of my friends. We've gone back to my mate's house, and I was like, right, okay. Sean Strickland, DDP. They were giving each other crap in the press conferences. DDP was bringing up Sean's childhood trauma and all sorts of stuff, and Sean's running his mouth calling him gay and all other stuff. And I was like, right, boom. I stayed up. The fight was a scrap, but I was really underwhelmed, and I just hope that this one delivers the expectations I had for the first one, because I'm hoping that they both just go for it and just point down at the start of the fight and just swing like they said they were going to do the first time, I need some sort of satisfaction from this fight. I need.
I think that's where I was coming from a little bit, because I was like the same as you. I was expecting so much from the first fight, especially with the build up. Well, any build up with anything with Sean Strickland in front of the camera is pretty intense. But yeah, I was expecting a lot more. So nothing is telling me that it's going to be any different. Nathan,
this is par for the course with Sean Strickland. I mean, he's been doing this. He'll talk about how he's going to kill someone. He really wants to kill someone. And then he's going to throw a jab for 25 minutes and sort of stand up facing the opponent. It's going to go the same way as they always do. I don't like Sean Strickland. I'll be honest. That he's done very well. And look, the Adesanya fight was superb. I find his style boring. No denying. Again, anytime I craze, he'd kick my ass. But he's not. He's not for me. I don't rate him too highly. Du Plessis, I mean, he's good. He is good. Like, obviously, he's not particularly an aesthetic fighter to watch, but you don't get to where he's got to with being crap. I mean, like with Sean Strickland, it's a lot of wins, it's a lot of losses, but he's only ever lost twice. I don't know the fella he lost to the first time. The second loss was to Soldic, who he also beat. And Soldic at that point, if he was a real name at that time. Someone that I remember being really excited about when I was like super locked into MMA and I was watching KSW and basically I had good streaming sites where I could. And I was watching that, and he beat Soldic and then he lost, but he was a really good fighter at that point, and he's not lost since that. I mean, he's got finishes against good guys, Whitaker, and against Adesanya, of course, as well. Darren Till. I mean, he's not bad. He's better than Strickland. I think he'll win on Saturday. But I mean, again, it's not he's a transitional champion. That's probably the point, really. He's someone that is there, and he will hold it until Hamzat fights him, and then Hamzat will win. And that's not even.
I disagree, brother. Hamzat, I'm saying it here first. A hot take live on stream. DDP beats Khamzat Chimaev. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you could be right. I mean, Duplessis always finds a way to win. That is his strength. He is an incredible winner.
He has plot armor. That's the reason.
Sorry, I just need to keep pushing my chin back up. Can you repeat that, Alex?
Dricus Duplessis will beat Khamzat Chimaev. I'm calling it now. Just off pure plot armor. I'm calling it now.
Right. Okay. Let's have it now. Live. Well, we're not live, but it's recording. It will be put out. 50 quid says Chimaev wins.
Go on then.
Right. Let's virtual shake.
Virtual shake. We'll do it. We've done it. We've agreed. Gentleman's agreement.
Fucking hell. You just threw 50 quid away there, mate.
Yeah. No, trust me. I'm
should have made it once.
I'm doing it. DDP beats him, man. People forget, man. DDP's not lost in years.
He's not. He's not lost in years.
I mean, you're right, but neither's fucking Chimaev, fella.
Yeah, I don't think he tries lost ever. Yeah. But ever. I mean, look. To this fight, you know, Strickland's going to look at him and throw a couple jabs. Duplessis is going to win. It is what it is. I mean, for me, the interest of this card is the co-main event, Zhang versus Suarez. I mean, Zhang is the best women's fighter ever. And she's up against Suarez, who's yet to be beaten. You know, stuff to find out about her in terms of her as a champion, but again, you can't argue with her, especially on the ground. And that's set to be probably the fight of the card, to be honest, with those two. Again, it might not be the most crazy fight, but it's definitely going to be technical. And I actually think there's probably more chance of them really putting on a great show for the fans. What do you guys reckon?
I do. I'm with you, Nathan. I think Zhang is the best women's fighter of all time, period. And Suarez has earned the right to be here. She's 11-0, and it's a fresh challenge for Zhang. So there's a lot of questions to be asked, and I'm really, really interested for the answers. It all depends on where the fight goes. I think for a good portion of it, it might be on the ground. That's just typical of the lower weight classes with the women most of the time. But I sit in the same place as you. I think this is a lot of people's main event because a lot of people just don't like Strickland, do they? So, and everybody loves Zhang Weili. So, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. I wasn't actually aware of Tatiana Suarez. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Suarez, isn't it? Yeah, I wasn't aware of it till the other week. Well, last week till I had a look at the card properly. I had a quick look down a resume. She's beaten names like Alexa Grasso, Carla Esparza, Jessica Andrea. I'm pretty sure the Jessica Andrea fight was the last fight in 2023. And the same Eric Nixak podcast I was on about the other day, she trains at Extreme Couture, I believe their gym's called, where Sean Strickland trains. So they're training partners, and he was saying that she's been out for so long because of injuries, and she had really bad luck and X, Y, and Z. But yes, I think that time away is just going to play into Zhang Weili's advantage. It's going to play better. I need to change the word in that. I think it's going to work out for Zhang Weili a lot better. She's been away from the octagon for much longer. Zhang Weili fought last year. Tatiana Suarez fought 2 years ago. I think it's going to play a big part in it.
Yeah, she's had bad luck, hasn't she, Suarez?
Sorry, Nave. Go on.
Yeah, she's had awful luck. I mean, she was actually at one point like surging almost towards a title fight, and I can't remember if that was at flyweight or or at straw. I think it was at strawweight. And then she just had terrible luck. Out for 4 years, comes back and then out again, and you know it's just bad luck. She's a very good fighter, but I do think you're right. I can't look past Zhang in any sense in a fight, and I don't see this going any differently. Although, as Dan said, Suarez is going to pose different sorts of challenges that she's faced before, and I'm intrigued to see how she deals with them. But I do think she will deal with them. But this is, I mean, good for Suarez. It surprises me that she's got the fight, to be honest. But it probably shows a little bit. Strawweight's has a bit of an issue in terms of turnover. They've had a lot of the same fighters at the top for a while, and we know Zhang's better than Esparza. We know Zhang's better than Rose Namajunas. Obviously, she's gone up to flyweight now, and there's just not really a whole lot. So Suarez will be an interesting test, and hopefully we'll start to get that division back, because that was, probably still is quality-wise, the best women's division in the UFC.
Absolutely. I think me and you had discussed this before, Nathan, when Zhang's been fighting, but Could you see her moving up?
Yeah, she's probably the one that is good at. I mean, if Rose can do it, she can do it too. And she's so good that I think just off that she'll beat a lot of the flyweight fighters. There's definitely some interesting fights. Is it Manon Farrow and people like that who are really good at that level? But again, off just quality, I think she'd stand a good chance. I don't know whether she will. There's something also to be said about someone. I've said this before, with someone just staying and dominating their division. But if you look, I mean, Mackenzie Dunn's probably the next fight, unless Jandiroba wins her next one against Janan Yan. And that's, so the options are limited. But I mean, there's still a couple fights in strawweight for her. But just off quality, I think Zhang would go to flyweight and quite quickly get it. Probably, to be honest, actually, she'd go up and fight for the title immediately. To be honest, I don't know what I'm saying about fight some other contenders. She'd go straight, and that you'd give her a shot as well. She's that good.
Absolutely, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Look, going through the card, then the only other one that sticks out from, well, there's a couple actually, to be fair, but it's the UFC debut of Tapora #2. He's older than Ilya, though, isn't he? Apparently, am I right in saying that? He's got.
I'm not sure.
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe it's his older brother. Yeah, he's older on the prelims too.
Yeah, and he takes care of all Ilya's strength and conditioning and stuff like that. Am I right in saying that? I think I've seen that somewhere. But Ilya's got like this full. It's like a recovery temple in his own house.
I've seen this unbelievable multi-million-pound lab in his basement. Yeah, his basement with a big landscape view on it. Yeah.
Yeah, but so if Alexandra's using it as well and is half as good as Ilya is, then we should be in for a treat. But I've heard a lot of mixed. I've heard that some people say that he's better than Ilya, and then some people say he's absolutely bobbins, basically, and shouldn't even. He's only in the UFC because of the name value.
I'm sure he might be one of those guys that's like really good in the gym or something. I don't know how much it is in MMA, but you in football you talk about players who are like really good in training, and then you watch them play. I think it was Soldado at Spurs was the famous one to me, at least, where apparently he was unbelievable in training, couldn't get near him. You stick him on the pitch on a Saturday, it was terrible. So maybe he's one of those guys, but we'll see. I mean, Alex, I don't know if there's any fights that stick out to you on this card because.
well, to be honest, I done a lot of research on this card, and there's a few things what I seen which didn't look quite so right to me, and I'm going to point them out to you today. On the main card, we have Justin Taffer versus Talison Texeria. Right, I wasn't aware. Right, so I'm thinking, who's Talison Texeria? So I go on the UFC website.
Teixeira.
Yeah. Apologies, Teixeira.
All right, we're just butchering names for fun out here over the last few weeks.
I have a look at this guy's record, and it says he's 1-0. And I'm thinking, is this guy having his second professional MMA? His second MMA fight in the UFC main card against Justin Taffer. But bear in mind, with Justin Taffer, I think he has a record of 7-4. So it wouldn't make that. It wouldn't sound too crazy to put them together. But on the main card of a UFC show in Sydney, Australia, you're just thinking, what's going on there? What the
And then he's 7-0, but I mean the fact he's been matching against Justin Taffer, Justin Taffer on the main card is crazy. That is crazy because you talk about bobbins, that's again kick my ass. But he's not. This is not great, but that is it sums up the card, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah. Where did you see 1-0, or did you just miss look at the 7?
I'm on the UFC website, and
I think because he won Contender Series, it must be
1-0 in the UFC.
Thank God for that. I was thinking they just pulled some fella off the street for the main card. What's going on there? Scandal. I was thinking there was some sort of scandal going on, mate. But yeah, the next fight along, I think, is quite underrated when you read between the lines, and there's quite a bit of stakes to it. Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato. With Jimmy Crute, he's fought guys like Jamal Hill, Anthony Smith, Modestas Bukauskas, Paul Craig, Sam Alvey. He's fought he's fought a lot of well-known names to sort of speak. I know his record's not the best, and his past few fights, he's had 3 losses and a draw. But when you compare that to Rodolfo, apologies if I'm completely butchering that name again. I am terrible with these names, mate. But this is his second UFC fight. He's coming off a big knockout win. So for him, it's a chance to prove himself against a veteran like Jimmy Crute, who's been around for a while. And with Jimmy Crute, if he loses, he's probably on his way out. So there's quite a lot of stakes on that one when you read between the lines. I think that'd be an interesting matchup. And then the one underneath that, Jake Matthews versus Francisco Prado. If I've pronounced that one right. Jake Matthews has been around for 10 years plus, serious veteran, and he's only 30 years old. That's crazy enough in and of itself.
That is pretty mad when you think about how long
yeah. A UFC veteran at 30, that is mad. He's basically had his whole career in the UFC.
He's had 20 fights already in the UFC.
Yeah.
And he's only 30. That's nuts, that man.
Yeah.
He did his UFC debut 12 years ago.
He's had a bit of like a career resurgence too. Last year he fought Philip Rowe, beat him in a decision, I believe. That was a pretty entertaining fight. He's not fighting regularly, but when he is, he's winning. So if that's working for him, you know, God bless you, mate. Keep going. Francisco Prado is 2-1 in the UFC. He's 12-2 as a pro, so he's got a good record. Clearly not a pushover. But I just think Jake Matthews' experience gets him the win, and that'll be good to see because he's been around for a while. So maybe you can get some flowers at a home show. So that'd be nice to see.
Matthews is like a career mid-carder, isn't he, for the UFC? He's just like he's always there around. Seems to be quite inconsistent, win one, lose one at this current point. But I mean, to say he's coming off a good win. It was his only fight last year and he won it. And look, this is a very winnable fight against Prado. I assume they want to give some of these fighters a bit of not a layup because there's not really any such thing, but they want to give these guys matchups that they're not, you know, completely outmatched and not just going to be outclassed. You know, they want to probably give the crowd something here. I mean, there are some fun fighters on this card. I'm not going to act like I'm an expert on some of these guys. I'm sure all of us are going to get to know guys in these prelims. Some of these names we're not going to be like Tom Nolan. I'm not sure, but I do know Borshev is a very exciting fighter. Maybe not the most skilled, but he's going to be in a scrap. The other one, Jack Jenkins, Gabriel Santos, which I believe if this is right, then Jack Jenkins is a fun fight, and that's going to main the prelims. So that's a great fight, really. And Santos, not a guy that I'm awfully familiar with, but he lost to Lerone Murphy, a split decision, so he's clearly not crap. And Jack Jenkins is super fun, so that will be a good fight. And then I'm pretty sure Rong Zhu was in a really good fight.
Cody Steele, I'm looking at that one now. Nate, Cody Steele, he beat Chase. He stopped Chase Blair in the Contender Series last year. Cody Steele, that'll be a good fight.
So that's the guy to look out.
That could be the sleeper, that actually, because Rong Zhu's had like fucking 30 fights, hasn't he? That'll be that's some matchup that for your UFC debut. Cody Steele is that guy. I don't know who he is. We've only seen him in the Contender Series, but you are that guy, Cody.
Yeah. To be fair,
Cody. Come on, lad, let's go.
Rong Zhu's got one of them Chinese fighter records, and he's just fought so often, and it doesn't in that MMA scene. It doesn't matter what your record is, you're fighting. You know, they'll put a guy like him against someone that's 0-9, and then they'll put him against someone that's 13-2 2 months later. But he's been in some big fights in the UFC, and he's not crap. He's won all of his road to the UFC fights, yet to win one actually in the UFC. Actually, I tell a lie. No, he beat Brandon Jenkins. I tell a complete lie. He's won one fight in the UFC, but he dropped out. One in UAE Warriors, and then came back through the road to UFC, and then lost through doctor stoppage last time, but hell of a litmus test for Cody Steele. And look, maybe this is a full force combat guy, Cody Steele. We're going to get behind him big for this one, and possibly push him to a victory on these prelims. And I mean, outside of that,
sorry Nick, sorry to interrupt again. If there's a good few unbeaten fighters in there, Hyun Sung Park, he's 9-0 Korean. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his opponent's name. If any of you want to have a go at that, you can have a go at that.
Alex, do you want to have a go?
Oh no, mate. No, mate. No, I don't. Nah.
He's not touching
I believe...
Toporia's opponent's unbeaten as well, Colby Thickness, another Aussie guy. And it's pleasing to see that, I know it's a numbered card, so they could technically get who they wanted in from wherever, but Australia is one of them places, isn't it, that if you've got a criminal record and shit, that's for quite serious stuff, you're not getting in. So it's quite Australian heather as well. I think there's like 7 or 8 Australians on the card, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
This is that Thickness's UFC debut as well, who's fighting Topuria.
I mean, I hope this card is good. I mean, look, I think a lot of people used to sort of say it, and then the like, oh, this card might be a sleeper card, you never know. And then the UFC started putting out some real bad slop, and then you started going, oh god, this card probably actually isn't going to be very good. It says it's bad, and it might be, but look, you never know. As you said, a lot of guys with something to prove, and that's a key thing. And then hopefully they'll take that seriously and realize the way to prove yourself in MMA is just to have a crazy fight. Might not benefit them much in terms of their health, but that's how you get yourself out there. So hopefully some of these guys who, you know, if we're being honest, if we were booking a card, shouldn't be near a main card, you know, take the opportunity that they have.
Not a numbered card.
On a show. And so it'll be, I mean, look at the UFCs, you know, they do this sometimes with the pay-per-view cards. There used to be, was it McGregor cards always used to be sort of thin? And, you know, this one just lacks a sort of main event to push it up. I mean, look, if this was a exciting main event fight, then we'll probably be talking about something completely different. But I mean, it is what it is. I just hope these guys deliver because, you know, none of us think Alex might be excited for the main event, but I don't think the general consensus is that we're to be excited for this main event. But we'll see. There's permutations around for those top 2 fights at least.
Absolutely. So just to put his opponent, I'm just on his topology here. Colby Thickness.
That's
Slickness.
Good. I like that. That's it.
It's pretty smooth, but we'll see how slick he is.
Yeah.
But the more I'm looking at this, I don't have a clue who most of them are, but that's the most intriguing thing. So I hope it can deliver in sorts. But if 311 wasn't pay-per-view in the UK a few weeks ago, then it'll be absolutely fucking criminal if this is pay-per-view.
Yeah. No, it can't be. No, it can't be. It can't be. No way.
Not after
that's like when they made Fulham Brentford like 15 quid. There's no way.
Yeah.
People ain't tuning in for that. I mean, but just to go back to nicknames quickly, that we'll have a go at this. Niam Jargul Tumen Demberu. His nickname is Art of Knockout. So I mean, talk about rolling off the tongue. I mean, that is an insane, terrible nickname. But we'll see how he gets on against Hyung-Sung Park. I mean, his nickname's Peace of Mind. So we're just putting sentences for the nicknames now.
Do you know what? We'll start a new series next week. We'll find a couple of the maddest nicknames in the world of mixed martial arts. There's got to be some fucking
I found
really bad ones.
Well, speaking of suggestive names, going back up to a bit later on in the prelims, we have Wang Kong against Bruno Brazil, which is a fight. Which is a fight I think could be all right because Bruno Brazil just beaten Molly McCann not too long ago. So I'm hoping Wang Kong beats the brakes off her because Wang Kong come in with so much hype, got subbed in the last fight, but I'm hoping she just comes in and batters her, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Me too. There is an Octagon review to come this week from my time in Germany, which will be very, very interesting. But for now, lads, it's been good to chat. Don't forget, everybody, head over to Instagram, follow, like the vids, subscribe on YouTube, and all that good stuff.